oh man, how much a difference 3 out of 4 games can make. First off, congratulations to the Las Vegas Raiders for making the playoffs. I got to be honest. I did not think this would happen. They were down, I think they were, 6 and 7 at one point. It just didn't look good. Also, little caveat, though, we are not in our usual studio visiting family who are all working today, so we're out here doing videos, just to kind of still bring the content, never stops. But I do have to, again, congratulate the Raiders because this just looked like it wouldn't happen. Like, at one point we made the Raiders need to rebuild video because we just felt the way this team was heading, it just did not look good. But they picked themselves up, dusted themselves off, and just handed the Los Angeles Chargers a loss. I can't believe this. Like, watching the game last night, I was watching in spurts again with family. Didn't get to see them over Christmas, so I was getting to hang out with them. But watching the game over spurts, and it was just like, the Raiders are tough. Like, something has happened to this team in the last 4 games where you're like, okay, like they are playing with a purpose. They are playing like there is no tomorrow because there wasn't. This was it for the Raiders. And there was a point in the game where you're like, okay, you're watching it, and I think that the Al Michaels and whoever it was that was announcing it last night on NBC, they were talking about, okay, if both of them tie or whatever towards the end of the game there, and we'll get into the rest of this game as we go along, but towards the end of the game there, I apologize for my parents' clocks if you can hear them in the background. They drove me nuts as a kid. But you see the Raiders who are in a position where they can just run out the clock and go to the playoffs, but no. They chose no and decided to put the Chargers out. Take them out. And you love that attitude because that's the kind of attitude you need to have going into the playoffs. If they would have ran out the clock and just decided, man, we're going to play, I would have been furious because when you go, especially going into the playoffs, you need to have the foot on the throat type mentality, and that is exactly the thought process that went in for the Raiders, and you love it. You absolutely love it going into the playoffs, and we're also going to come out with a video because they're looking really good right now. But let's get into the game. But first things first, the Las Vegas Raiders are heading to the playoffs. I know we're going to get some Raiders fans yelling Raiders out there, so yeah, absolutely, just fantastic. Now we look at the game's stats from last night. Raiders 35-32 win, 10-7 on the season. Chargers dropped to 9-8. Derek Carr was surprisingly clutch. Like, there were moments where I was like, okay, I think he missed Darren Waller on a touchdown, what was it, late in the 4th, and then or maybe it was overtime. I think it was late in the 4th, and I'm just like, okay, Derek Carr needs to stand up right now because this is where his team needs him the most. But overall, you saw him just put when he needed to, he dropped in dimes. I mean, that just both those sideline catches by Bryan Edwards and Zay Jones. I mean, man. Oh, by the way, and if the Raiders can get any sort of speed on the outside other than Zay Jones in the offseason, watch out for this team. Like, Deshaun Jackson, maybe incorporate him a little more. I don't know, but like it's rough at this point. If you can get speed on the outside, holy crap, this team is scary. But overall, Derek Carr finished 20 of 36, 186 yards and 2 touchdowns, no picks. He played exactly how he needed to guide the Raiders over the Chargers in this one. You absolutely love to see it. Marcus Mariota, I love it when the Raiders pull him in like more of a wildcat, unpredictable. Like, it throws the defense off. It makes their offense unpredictable, and just good things tend to happen when Marcus Mariota is on the field in terms of in the wildcat. You just love to see it when the Raiders get a little cute with it and decide to, hey, we're going to throw a monkey wrench into things and see how you guys react. You love that because the defense is put on their heels. They have to make a split choice decision, and if it's the bad decision, I mean, Marcus Mariota, he's still got the speed to make you pay. He does. Absolutely still has the speed to make you pay. Josh Jacobs is running like there is no tomorrow. There were 5 plays there. I'm like, okay, well, and then I think it was Al Michaels, whoever said it last night, that was talking about, oh yeah, well, he's running like he was when he was a rookie. Yeah, because he knows this is it. This is it. There is no tomorrow for this team. And overall finished the night 26 carries, 132 yards and a touchdown. And you love to see it. Again, a guy that throughout the season has been dealing with his share of injuries. It's been tough at times to get him going, but this was a game where you had to have it, and you put the ball in your playmaker's hands, and he did it. He absolutely carried the Raiders in a lot of situations, and it was one of those situations where if the Raiders can continue to run the football like this, you watch out. Like, you watch out for this team because they look tough. They look tough, especially if they can run the football like this heading into the playoffs. Also, Jalen Richard had a couple carries for 24 yards. Marcus Mariota added that 4 carries for 23 yards. Again, that dangerous, misdirection. What are we going to do? You guys react, and then we'll react off of you type of offense, which you love to see. Then you also had Bryan Edwards, who, in my mind, there are times where he's just disappeared and other times where he shows up and You love Brian Edwards because one moment he's like, one catch, 8 yards. The next moment he has 4 catches for 60 yards and arguably some of the biggest plays in the game. So it's like, really, like you decided until now to make that happen, but okay, it is what it is. Foster Moreau, Darren Waller, I believe, only had 2 catches? Yeah, 2 catches on the night for 22 yards. He's obviously not 100%, but when he's 100%, I mean, he's incredible. But Foster Moreau, he has taken over and done admirably, even though that fumble early in the game, I was like, ugh. Come on, buddy, don't fumble it. That's too big of a play right there. You cannot fumble, especially when you got to cover it up, big boy. But he made some big plays, and honestly, I think he has played splendidly in. What am I from England? What am I saying splendidly for? But he's played great in the absence of Darren Waller, and I'm really excited for what that continues to bring. They got 2 really good tight ends there in Las Vegas. Then you got Zay Jones, who had 5 catches, 27 yards. Again, no knock on Zay Jones. He drew a couple of big penalties too late in the game, and obviously had a couple of big catches too. But it was like, if this man ran a 4.3, this Raiders offense would just be unstoppable because you see him when he's running those deep balls. Like he's got speed, and obviously Derek Carr missed him on that first drive there, or that early in the game, and it was like, I don't know, like if he had maybe 1 or 2 more steps, he would just be he would be nasty. Darren Waller, 2 catches, 22 yards. Like we said, Hunter Renfrow had a couple of clutch touchdowns to keep the Raiders in the game and give them the lead and all that. 4 catches, 13 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Obviously Josh Jacobs had a couple of catches as well, 12 yards on the night. But again, you love to see it, and you really think that if the Raiders can just continue to play like this, they're going to be a tough team to stop. But I'm really excited for how they played, and I think it really propels this team moving into the playoffs. Now you look defensively, Denzel Perryman led the team with 9 tackles. Brandon Faceson, I never pronounce these names right. I'm sorry. But he had 7 tackles on the night. Max Crosby. We already made a video about Unique Ngakoue and Max Crosby. Like when you need a couple of guys to get after the quarterback, you put them in. And Max Crosby had a couple sacks to close out the year. I believe he had 8 on the year. Nate Hobbs, also Desmond Trufant, Nate Hobbs, Casey Hayward. There was some really good play from their DBs last night. Like they played fantastic in the secondary. You love to see it, especially against a team like the Chargers with Justin Herbert, who's going to throw the ball. But like we said, those guys balled out. Desmond Trufant, Trayvon Woodard, even though we know him as Trayvon Morig. Overall, Darius Philon, too, a couple big plays there late in the game to really stuff the Chargers when they were trying to go for it. You love to see it. I think it's against his former team too, so you absolutely love to see it. Casey Hayward had that big interception too, that you were like, okay, now they got some momentum. This team is they was just flying around. Also, Quentin Jefferson had half a sack. He just exploded up the middle. That was a great play. But overall, you really just like how the Raiders played last night. Like they went out, they had something to prove. They knew it was all out on the line, and again, they were in a position where, hey, minute left, we could kneel down here and we're in the playoffs. No, that ain't the attitude. You go in with your foot on their throat and you finish. That's what you love from the Raiders, and that's the kind of mentality you have to have as an organization and as a team. You have to have that attitude of we're going into the playoffs when we're knocking out one of our AFC West rivals. That's the absolute attitude you have to have, and you love to see it. Foot on the throat. I don't know. I want to take out a chunk out of a piece of wood right now because that's the attitude you love to see from a team. I know that's weird, but that's just how it goes. But at the end of the day, you love to see the Raiders in it, but they're in the playoffs. They're in the playoffs, and they're a dangerous team heading into it, playing like there's no tomorrow. What's the quote from The Replacements? Yeah, you're playing like there's no tomorrow. You are a bunch of individuals, or like there was no tomorrow for you, and that makes you a very dangerous people. Love that quote all time, and that's exactly the mentality the Las Vegas Raiders have right now, and you love to see it. But let us know what you guys think. The Las Vegas Raiders are heading to the playoffs. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. Check out our website at thesportsbeatpodcast.com. Also in the description down below, you find all of our social media platforms. Give us a like and a follow there. Give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about the Las Vegas Raiders heading to the playoffs.